Hi, this is Mark from Shellmark Sales again, also known as SMPostcards. On the Shellmark sales sites, we sell toys, SMPostcards.com or SMPostcards. We sell postcards, vintage postcards. Our niche is more in the lower end of the cards, selling memories. People have been to places, chrome cards, linen cards, like that. We do deal in some higher cards, but we don't have a lot of the RPVCs and stuff like that. But if you're new to this video, basically I go through what's sold on eBay, Etsy, and Hip Postcard. I show you the card, the front and back, talk about it a little bit. In between I throw some postcard speak in there, talk about postcards, anything that pops in my head. Yeah, and we go from there. So today we got 30 cards sold, 29 on eBay, 0 on Etsy for today so far, and 1 on Hip Postcards. So like I said, eBay we sell about 80% of our cards on. Etsy we usually sell about 15%, and Hip Postcards usually 4 or 5%. With the rounding it comes to 100%. But the juggernaut for postcards is eBay. That's where you want to be. The other ones are little niche sites, which I think in the future, like Hip Postcards, are really gonna, I think it's something that might take off on there. Just for the number of cards that we have, someone asked me, sent a comment and asked me how many cards do we currently have listed. On eBay we have 15,807 listings. That's not quantity, that's individual listings. On Etsy we have 3,241. Now Hip Postcards has an integration, an API to eBay. So if I put a card on eBay, by the time I get to Hip, it's already over there. So it actually cross-posted automatically. I really don't have to do anything. And if it sells on Hip, it tells eBay to put it in the sold and that listing. So it's a pretty neat integration, never had a problem with it. So the total postcards that we have listed across all 3 sites as of today is 19,048 cards. So with our toys in there, we have another 1,100, 1,500 in toys. So we're already over the 20,000 mark on listings between toys and postcards. But most of our cards are listed on eBay. So that's how many cards we got, 19,048 listings between the 3 sites. So let's go ahead and get started. On the first card that sold on eBay was the German Bank Building in Wheeling, West Virginia. That's it right there. It's a divided back card, 1916 postmark. It has a 1-cent stamp on it, some writing. It has a little bit of staining on the back, but for a 100-year-old card, over 100-year-old, it's not too bad. This card sold for $4, and it's going to be shipped to Boston, Maine. The reason it's $4 is because we send offers to our watchers all day long, every day. We send out offers and we put 10% on every card. Offer comes up, 10%, send them out. And a lot of people appreciate that, and they buy the card, $4.45 to $4. I'll do it. So we do that all day long. If you're not sending offers out to people, you're missing out on sales. And we don't really look at all the dollars. We look at the number of cards. So we make a percentage, profit on every card. The more cards you sell, the more profit you get, and pay your expenses, etc. So, but that's the first card out of 30. The card that sold is the Grotto in Our Lady of Lourdes Chapel in Roadside, America, Charlottesville, Pennsylvania. So you see the priest over here. Let me turn that light around a little bit. The priest is right over here walking over to the grotto. It's just a chrome card. Someone probably goes to that church or something like that, but there's no writing on it. It's a pretty clean chrome card. This card sold for $4.45 and is going to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It is a Boathouse, Roads on the Patuxent, Providence, RY. Not for sure what the RY is, but it's a divided back card. It was posted in 1909, it looks like, right there. But if you notice, it's got some edge problem down in the corner here, up in the corner, stuff like that. It's got a little bit of staining on the front and the back. It's got some wear. It actually has the paper off right here. Has torn off. So hopefully I explained that correctly. Those are the types of things I put in the description above my disclaimer about a normal card. And but if the buyer has any questions on that, I'll have to deal with that. But it does have a nice view of it with the canoes and stuff out front of the boathouse. So this sold for $445, and it's being shipped to Woonsocket, Rhode Island, so it must be a Rhode Island card, I would. So the next one that's sold is a Switzerland card of the Matterhorn. Now, I don't do a lot of international cards. They're hard to translate sometimes, but I knew what this one was just by looking at it. At first I thought it was a Disney card, but it's actually a view of the Matterhorn, and it's actually sold for $445 free shipping, and it's being shipped to San Diego, California. So it's a nice chrome card, good picture of the Matterhorn. Sure is a pretty neat one, I thought. It's of the oil rigs at Long Beach, California. It's called Signal Hill, a producer of black oil, Texas gold. But this is actually Long Beach, California, and I didn't know they had this many oil rigs out there, you know, on there. It was posted in 1963. It's a chrome card. It's got a stamp of a boat and a 4-cent stamp on the back. But as you can see, it's got all the oil rigs, any kind of towers, Ranger towers, oil rigs, and even linen cards with oil rigs. The one with the smoke coming out and stuff, I've sold those pretty well. And this sold for $445 and free shipping, and it's actually being mailed to Long Beach, California. Stratford Hall, the birthplace of Robert E. Lee, 1807, near Montrose, Virginia. It's a chrome card, posted in 1962 on there. So it's a nice big house. I wouldn't mind being born there. That's one thing about postcards. I had someone ask me how I got into selling postcards. You know, I've been done it all my life. No. Basically, my father-in-law is retired, and he cleans out houses and estates for people. And they were getting a lot of paper, and I go, well, what do you do with all that paper? And they go, we burn it. All that stuff goes into the burn pile. And I said, really? So I started looking about, you know, could I get my hands on some of that? Maybe I had some resale value or just a history. I didn't like all that postcards and stuff going into the burn pile. We need to get it back out into the collector's hands. So I looked into postcards, and I kind of got in there, and I like the history. We like to travel. I'm currently retired. I retired 2.5 years ago. I was able to get out early from my job as a IT manager, information technology, for people that don't know IT, for a major utility company for over 20 years. And I was able to retire early. So I needed something to do, and I kind of landed on postcards, and we like to travel. And so this gave me a lot of ideas. I like looking at places, the pictures. You know, I've learned more about geography doing postcards. So that's our goal, is basically something to do, make a little bit of money to pay for the postcards, the tools, my time, and just keep doing it and get it back, get these memories out to people where they went and stuff like that. So that's one of our main goals. That's why you probably see the cards not priced as high as some dealers do. So you'll see one of the cards in this stack later on, I probably could have got double or triple my money for. So that's about the goal of coming into our store looking for things. Like when you walk into an antique store and you find that one item that you're going to, killer item that you're going to make a lot of money on, or, you know, for a good price. So if you do a lot of cards, a lot of listing in the low level and not a lot of research, you're going to miss probably some money on the table, but you're also going to get, you're going to be volume. Now if you want to go higher end cards and do a lot of research, then you're not going to sell those cards, but you're going to sell about the same amount of money, but you're going to put a lot more time into research. We're more on the side of, let's get them out there for the collectors, make a few dollars on them, and just keep moving the volume. So like I said, it's the volume game versus a lot of research and not the volume game on there. So I could look at 1,000 cards and find 2 cards out of the stack that I would want to put in that type of store, or I could take the 1,000 cards and just put them online and let the people pick through them. A lot of people buy postcards just not for memories. They buy them for crafts. I've had people buy them for, you know, they cut them up, they put them in collages, they frame them, they put them in flowers, a whole bunch of different stuff. So that's the niche that we kind of went after. So with that, now like with our toy store, we do a little bit more research. We do a lot of high-end toys. We have a distributor we buy from wholesale, so we have pre-orders. So it's a whole type of different business. This is one that's more interesting than that sometimes. But this card here, like I said, sold for let's see what it sold for. It sold for $4, so it was an offer to a buyer, and it's actually being shipped to Meridian, Idaho. So that's what I mean about this is a Virginia card, and it's actually going to somebody in Idaho. So I like to know where the cards are being put about, so I know what to list. But I pretty well list everything. The next one in the stack is what gets listed. 4 different cards on this next order. He bought 2 of the Texas map. It's a card, a chrome card. There's nothing on the back of this one, but he bought 2 of those, and then he bought 2 of these. This one, Texas Cowboy on a Jackrabbit. If you notice, that's a large, it's a fantasy type thing, humor. But anytime you see the big apples, big trains, or anything like that, people collect those, the big letter cards and stuff like that. So now these 4 cards are going to be actually mailed to Salado, Texas. This whole order, 4 cards, was worth $15.13. Now these 4 cards, since it's not 5 cards and above, as you'll see from our other videos, how we mail and pack postcards, 5 and above cards go into a first class package. This is 4, but it does bring me over the 1 ounce for the 55 stamp, so I had to put an extra additional ounce stamp on here. So when you go to 1 and you're at 2 ounces, 1 to 2, then you put 1 of these. You go to 2 to 3, you put 1 more, and I think they're 15-20 cents a piece. I'd have to check again. I don't use them that often. Anything above 3 ounces, you need to go to first class package. But all of these will fit into 1 envelope, and they're going to Salado, Texas, and $15 sale. Okay, so the next one is another multiple order. This Rebecca bought 2 cards, and they're of the St. Patrick's Church Cathedral in New York City. This is this one is the sanctuary in the city on there. It kind of looks like an RPPC, but to me it's a reprint of the cathedral right there. And the next one was the high altar in the St. Patrick's Cathedral. So she was able to pick the 2 listings out of my store for these. And this order, so she bought both of the cards $4 a piece, so she must have been a watcher for that. And she's actually in Brooklyn, New York, and both of those will go in 1 envelope as well. So the next card is House of David, Benton Harbor, Michigan. I've sold a lot of House of Davids. I must have got into a lot of those, but this is the Benton House of David Hotel in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and it also says House of David up in the top here, so they had some kind of marketing thing on there. But it's got an older cars out front, as you can see, so someone knows of this hotel and the House of David stuff. So anytime you see House of David, they will sell. I've sold them on there. So this is actually sold for $4, so it was a 10% offer, and it's going to Niles, Michigan, and this is from Benton Harbor, Michigan. Now this next card is the one I was saying about that I probably left money on the table. This was a gem someone probably found in our store that we didn't do the research, to look at that, but we don't have a problem with that. If you find a good card in our store to resell, take a look. I mean, we're getting a fair value for what we paid for it, and if someone, we can pay back that favor if someone, catches it, because we're just listing the cards and stuff. But this one is Going to the Fire. It's a horse and a fire engine with horses. It's a divided back, so it was posted in 1906, but you can look on there and you can just see the horses and all the detail on this card. It also has the glitter on there. Now in my other video about scanning postcards, I said you don't put these types of cards, you should not put these types of cards through your scanner because it can scratch, because the glitter is made of a mica glass thing. But I have an idea this one might have made it through accidentally, just the way the picture looks, so it didn't cause any damage. But you want to be careful with that glitter in your scanners. But that is just one neat card. So we basically did price that card at $8.50. We probably could have got, you know, 3-4 times as much for this card here. It took a while. It's been not too long, probably a couple months, and it did sell, but someone picked it out, and it's a really nice card. I'm super excited for the buyer to have a card like this and getting a good price for it on there. The card that sold, it looks like a chrome card when you look at it, but it's actually, or a linen card, but it's actually a chrome card. It's the Korean Motel in Falls Church, Virginia. And as you can see, it's got the shiny part, it's a chrome, and there's no, it's not used, not postmarked, has a little bit of a flea market sign on there. But it's probably somebody stayed at those hotels back in the 40, 50. When I grew up, we used to travel a lot, but we stayed at campgrounds. We didn't stay in there, but this is a nice solid card. It's from Falls Church, Virginia, Korean Motel. And this one sold for $4, so it was an offer to a buyer. And it's going to Haymarket, Virginia. Okay, so the next one that sold is a chrome card. It's the Alumni Coliseum, Eastern Kentucky University, Richmond, in there. So as you can tell, it's a nice card, nice colors. There's no writing on the back in there. Now, anytime you have a university and stuff like that in there, make sure you type the whole thing out, like Stratford Hall, or Providence, Princeton. Alumni really look at these cards. I've sold a lot of university cards on there. This one is actually sold for full price, $4.45 plus free shipping, and it's going to Iowa City, Iowa. So a Eastern Kentucky University Coliseum postcards going to Iowa. So someone got transplanted there. Okay, so like I said, in between the videos, I'll just cut out where I pack them and everything, and just go from card to, what card it is, what it's sold for, and then I'll cut out the other part. But I wanted to show you this. I ended up getting a new stamp to put on the back of my postcards. I went to twice the size, and so every envelope gets this stamped on there. It says SMPostcards.com. Now the SMPostcards.com is pointed right to the eBay store. So if you put that into your browser, you would go right into our eBay store. And underneath it, I put a variety of collectible postcards, open carefully, postcard inside. So that gets stamped on every envelope. We haven't, I just got the bigger thing. The smaller one wasn't working real well, so I went to a bigger one on there. But that gets stamped on every envelope. So the next card that sold is Forest Hills Inn, Long Island, New York. So that's a chrome card. And if you can see, there's people sitting outside at the restaurant on there. And it is postmarked. I can't tell what date it is, but it does have a postmark and a lot of writing on the back, and it has a 4-cent stamp on there. So this is some Forest Hills Inn is written right across the top here, so someone knows of that place, and that's why they went there. So on there. This sold for $4.45, and it's actually being mailed to Forest Hills, New York. Okay, the next one that sold is OTEY, Ate Memorial Parish Church, Shawnee, Tennessee. So that's a church. So what I found with churches, now you could just put Catholic Church, Baptist Church, but what I found with churches, you got to get real detailed in the title. So I put the whole title basically says OT Memorial Parish Church, Shawnee, Tennessee. So I got everything right in there because these people are, looking for that. For their town. If you just put OT Church, they might not key in on their rule, or it doesn't catch as well as I found. But I've been selling a lot more church cards and city halls and stuff by getting real detailed in the title where they're located. But it's a chrome card, nice looking card, nice looking church on there. This sold for full price, $4.45 plus free shipping, and it's going to Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, so on the last video, I actually showed this comic card, or humor as you call it. Like I said, I have a comic humor category. Most people will just come in and read these cards. They don't sell as often, but they do sell. And this is a good example. I had 3 of these cards, And last time I sold one of this, I had a quantity of 2 left. And I did, when I was packing that card up, I did go over to the box and check and make sure I got 2 other ones and I didn't make a mistake. So you got to be very disciplined when you get this many listings. That you got to check stuff like this. So I have 2 cards of the same, and this is Texas, Empire of Texas. Let's see if I can get it closer, you can kind of see. There's no writing on the back. It's a chrome card. The guy purchased both the last 2 I had, so he bought both of these cards on there. So they do sell. People will buy doubles. A lot of times if I have doubles, I'll put one on eBay and then I'll put one on Etsy, or 2 on eBay, 2 on Etsy, or 2 on eBay, 1 on Etsy. So I got different people going to different places on there, so I don't mind duplicates. I've got some cards. Las Vegas Hotel, I had 50 of them, so I put 30 on eBay, 20 on Etsy. You know, kind of split them up on there with different numbers on the cards in there. But that just goes to show you people will buy more than one of the same card. These cards sold for $4.45 each, and they are being shipped to Salado, Texas. And both of these cards will go into the same envelope since it was the same purchase on there. So, and it'll still be under an ounce, so it'll go for 55 cents. Now with this last one, I just wanted to show you something else that I do. Cover the address. I want to know how many postcards I sell every day from each site. Not what type of card or anything, but just what side. So on the top of the envelope, that I put 2 up there. So if I have 2, 3, or 4 cards in an envelope, I'll put that up there. So in the morning when I go to put these in the mailbox, I can actually count how many total cards I sold. I also keep track of how many cards I sell per site, and I just use a spreadsheet for that. And keep track, so I kind of have an idea if anything changes. I look for trends, if it's up or down, do I need to do anything. But just to get a quick count in the morning, I just put a 2 right in the corner of the envelope. And so when I flip through all the envelopes in the morning before I put them in the box, 10, 12, 13, 14, I can say, okay, I sold 15 cards today. So, and just wanted to share that with you. Okay, so the next one is sold as San Buenaventura, California. It's a church founded in 1782. This is a divided back card. I can just tell by the way it looks with that on there, and the way the back is on there. It's not posted, but that's another church. And so the title, I actually wrote out San Bernardino, California. I didn't put church in there, but it could be a mission too. Not for sure. That's probably why I didn't put church. But that did sell for $4.45, and it's actually being sent to Napa, California. Mount Snow area, West Dover, Vermont. It's a ski resort with a swimming pool in the mountains. So hopefully it's a heated pool. I'm not a skier. It's a chrome card. It was postmarked in 1961. Has a 3-cent stamp on it. On there, so it was actually sent from Burlington, Vermont. So, but that's a nice chrome card. Someone probably went there to there. This card sold for $4.45, free shipping, and it is going to Brattleboro, Vermont. So now we're down to the last 2 cards on eBay and 1 on HIP. This one is the Column Exposition Park, Los Angeles, California. Right there. So it was got a big, writing on the back. That looks like it's, to me, it looks like it's, messed up. Like there's a stain going across there, but that's not it. That's the shadow of the stadium. This is a linen card, just by the way it feels in the color. So that's actually a shadow. But no one asked me about that. I was waiting for some questions on that because they're buying these from a flat picture on eBay, and that kind of looks like a stain, but it's actually the shadow. It's not postmarked. The corners are good. It's got some tanning around the sides and on the back, but not too bad. So someone must have went to this stadium. I don't know if it's still there on there or not. So this card sold for $4.45, free shipping, and it's going to Leesville, South Carolina. Okay, this is the last one on eBay, It is a Buckhorn Inn at Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So that's a chair. It looks like the end. That's the inn. This is just like a inside of a chair, and it's got a little pond in the front. And then it's got a postmark. It's got some writing up there. 1968 is the postmark. So someone must have stated that in there. So this sold for $4.45. It's just a regular Chrome card, but it's got memories to somebody, and it's being shipped to Tony, Alabama. So that's the last one on eBay. We got one more I'll go through on HIP, and that'll be it for that one. So this one, that was all the eBay ones. So this one sold on HIP Postcards. Now HIP Postcards is a niche site for HIP comics, HIP stamps, and they got HIP Postcards. Ties into eBay. So if you list a card on eBay, it automatically goes over to HIP. So we have a big store, you know, everything's over there as well. It gets a different view of people, but it is not as busy as eBay. So this is Tremont Street in Boston Common Mall, Boston, Massachusetts. So just a typical card. This one does have a crease on one of the corners there, on there, and it's just, you know, typical of some cards that you're going to have on there. And it's also regular Chrome card. Now this ships just the same as it would on eBay. They have their address in there. It takes a few extra steps. Now with HIP, you do make a little bit more money because the fees are not as high as they are on eBay and Etsy, but the volume's not there. So there's a trade-off. If HIP had the volume that eBay had, I think everybody would be over there selling postcards on that. But those are all the postcards that we sold. So the stack we got today are all these. So in one day, this is from Saturday night to Sunday morning, about 10:30 in the morning. About $150 in sales on postcards on one day for the lower expensive cards that we sell with the volume, and we'll probably sell some more overnight. Like I said, they sell all day and all night long. We get postcards being sold. We have other videos out there you want to check out. One of the ones you want to check out is about the eBay standard envelope that's coming up. Label. They're doing it for trading cards now. It's how you can actually mail postcards in these types of envelopes or envelopes with tracking. Now the tracking number, there's some special information about that. It's not a UPS number, but my video goes through the test. We actually did a test with this envelope here, and that's what it looks like. But I got details. I walked through the whole label on how it's broken down and what we did and how if I'm going to make any changes when it rolls out the postcards. We got packing postcards, we got inventory, scanning about postcards out there, and we got a couple of these other what's sold. Again, leave in the comments if there's anything you want me to talk about in these videos, got questions, or if there's any recommendations on what we do, or if you see a card on there. But you can always check out our store at SMPostcards.com. In case you write to our eBay store. Etsy, we're SMPostcards. HIP, we're SMPostcards. So it's the same. And we also have a newsletter. If you buy a card, a newsletter will pop up, and you can subscribe so you can be automatically updated. But we appreciate you watching the video, and I hope to see you